Hi friends, welcome back on our YouTube channel. This is the next lecture of optics in which today we will discuss about Aplanatic points of a spherical refracting surface. Now, in last lecture we have discussed about Abbe's sign condition. So, from Abbe's sign condition we have mu1 h1 sin theta 1 is equal to mu2 h2 sin theta 2. Here mu1 and mu2 are the refractive indices of the object space and the image space respectively. H1 is the height of object whereas h2 is the height of image, and theta 1 and theta 2 are the angles which made by incident and reflected ray with the x-axis. So, sin theta 2 upon sin theta 1 will be mu1 upon mu2 into h1 upon h2. So, this will be the value of sin theta 2 upon sin theta 1. If this ratio is constant for a particular surface, then the surface is known as Aplanatic surface. So Aplanatic surface is a surface for which the ratio of sin theta 2 and sin theta 1 remain always constant. So if this ratio is constant for a particular surface, then the surface is known as Aplanatic surface. An Aplanatic surface is a surface which forms a point image of a point object situated on its axis. So, for Aplanatic surface, a point object imaged as point. So, an Aplanatic surface is a surface which forms a point image of a point object situated on its axis. The image formed by Aplanatic surface is free from optical aberrations. So there are several optical aberrations which are chromatic aberration, spherical aberration and another aberrations also. And the image formed by Aplanatic surface is free from these type of aberrations. Now here we have a spherical refracting surface. This is our center of curvature. The refractive index of this surface is mu, and outside it we have air. Now this is our object, and the radius of curvature of this reflecting surface is r. Now CO is r by mu. Here we have object, a ray, which incident towards the center of curvature will move in the same direction without any deviation. So OC follow the path in same direction without any deviation. So this will be reflected as CA. Now this is our another ray. This ray is moving towards point P, and after reflection from this spherical reflecting surface, it follows the path PQ. Now we join point C with P. So CN is our normal. It means this angle is angle of incidence because OP is our incident ray, and the angle which is made by incident ray with normal is known as angle of incidence. So angle OPC is our angle of incidence, whereas an angle which is made by reflected ray which normal is known as angle of refraction. So angle QPN will be angle of refraction and it is represented by R. So angle I is angle of incidence, whereas angle R is angle of refraction. Now we extend QP in backward direction and this ray meet the x-axis at point I. So I is image of object O. So this is our object and this is our image. And this image will be formed at mu r distance from optical center. So if object is at r by mu distance, then the image will be formed at mu r and this image will be free from any optical aberration. Let this angle is theta 1 and this one is our theta 2. Now, this was our diagram by using sine law in triangle OPC. So triangle OPC. So we are using sine law in triangle OPC. So according to sine law, if we use sine of this angle, then upon we use this side, and if we are using sine of this angle, then upon we use this side. So sine theta 1 upon PC is equal to sine I upon OC. Now PC is our R, which is the radius of curvature, and object is at a distance R by mu from optical center. So sine theta 1 upon R is equal to sine I upon R by mu. Now we have to prove that the image will be at a distance mu R from optical center. Now R and R will be cancelled out. So sine theta 1 equal to mu sine I. Since refraction is taking place from denser to rarer medium, this is our denser medium and this is rarer medium. So refraction is from denser to rarer medium. So from Snell's law, sine I upon sine R will be 1 upon mu, because Snell's law is sine I upon sine R equal to mu 2 upon mu 1. Here mu 2 equal to 1, which is the refractive index of air, and mu 1 is mu, which is the refractive index of this refracting surface. So sine I upon sine R equal to 1 by mu, or sine R equal to mu sine I. So this is mu sine I equal to sine R, and this is mu sine I equal to sine theta 1. So by equating these two equations, we get sine theta 1 equal to sine R. So sine theta 1 equal to sine R, or theta 1 equal to R. So we get theta 1 equal to R, means angle of refraction equal to theta 1. Now in triangle IOP, so in triangle IOP, so if this is I, and this angle is R, then this angle will be R minus I. Now, in this triangle, external angle equal to sum of interior angle and external angle equal to theta 1 and interior angle are theta 2 and R minus I. So theta 1 equal to theta 2 plus R minus I. So theta 1 equal to theta 2 plus R minus I. But theta 1 equal to R. So if we substitute theta 1 as R, then R and R will be cancelled out. So theta 2 minus I equal to 0, or theta 2 equal to I. So theta 1 equal to R and theta 2 equal to I. Now this was our diagram from triangle OCP and ICP. Triangle OCP and in triangle ICP. So OCP and ICP. So by using these two triangles, we get CO upon CP. So CO upon CP is equal to Cp upon Ci. So Co upon Cp is equal to Cp upon Ci. Now Co is R by mu, Cp is capital R, and we want to find the value of Ci. So Ci equal to Cp square upon Co, and Cp is R, whereas Co equal to R by mu. So Ci equal to R square divided by R by mu, and 1 R and 1 R will be cancelled out. So Ci equal to mu R. So Ci equal to mu R. It means if object is at a distance R by mu from optical center, then image will be at a distance mu R from optical center, and these 2 points will be Aplanatic points. This relation does not depend on θ1 and θ2, and hence the beam divergent from O at any angle is definitely convergent at I, because Ci equal to mu R, and this relation does not depend on θ1 and θ2. So the beam divergent from O at any angle will be definitely convergent at point I, because it is independent of θ1 and θ2. A point object O situated at a distance R by mu from C will be imaged on I at mu R distance from C. So if object is at a distance R by mu, then the image will be at a distance mu R from the optical center C. Since image is free from θ1 and θ2, so the image will be free from optical defects. Now here image I is free from angle θ1 and θ2 because the position of image from optical center is mu R, and it does not depend on θ1 and θ2. It means the image will be free from any optical defects. And this property is used to prepare Aplanatic lenses or Meniscus lenses. Now, here we end our session. In the current session, we have studied about Aplanatic points of a spherical surface. So, goodbye.